Hey guys, this is my last video for the night, and you could argue it's my coolest, but everything's been pretty cool today. This is a 1978 gold line. It is the first gold line that I have found, and that I believe that anyone has found or seen in the U.S. that does not have the pointed motor. They must have switched in 1978, because I think these were also 78. I can't remember. I said it in one of the other videos. But, excuse me. But, this is, pretty much the exact round motor version that I wanted, although I didn't know that this version was labeled Envirofan. I wanted the one with the circle in the bottom and the 3 screws exposed, although I think some of them have the nuts on the bottom and the screws on top. I've seen those labeled Union before with the green Union label, but did not know they came labeled Envirofan. I'll have to check. The friend of mine that has a gold line like this in Canada, I don't think his has the circle, but I could be wrong. Our motor is considerably thicker and heavier than the silver line from, when's that from? From 1980. And it's considerably heavier than these. Definitely the beefiest one that I have. It answers a lot of questions and creates some more. First of all, let's take a look at the rest of the stuff. There's the box. It's model 60F, not F7. Claims made in Canada. Of course, we know that wasn't the case. Here's the manual that came with it. Why do you need a wrench? Oh, I guess for the J-hook. Okay, so I had the lights on while we were looking at the box, but we'll turn them off now. So, yeah, the question that I had, so when I used to talk to the people from Envirofan, they told me that in the 40-some years they've been in business now, they've only switched factories once, and they said it was in the 70s. So I'd always wondered if the, there was a version of the gold line that predated the pointy version that came from a different factory. Well, we found out there is a version of the gold line that predated the pointy version, but it appears to be from the same factory as the earlier pointy ones. So that means either one of two things. Either there's yet an earlier version of the gold line that came from a different factory, and then this version, and this version are all made by Union. Or they were wrong about the date, and the change actually happened in the 80s, and all the early ones were Union, and then the factory shift took us to these guys, which then became these guys. So, not really sure yet, but I also have often wondered if some of the ones that I've seen around town labeled Union were actually sold as Envirofan, but they just didn't change the sticker inside the fan. Because it seems odd that we'd find so many Union ones here when this was an Envirofan distribution center. So, let's get it going. Let's come over here to the testing rig. Ammeters on. Let's see. 1 microfarad. I don't expect that to do much. It's got a 1 amp motor in it. 2, 3, 4. It moved a little bit, but that was it. 5. So it seems like it's going to perform similar to the 1 amp ones like I have downstairs. They start at 5 and go very slow on the standard 5, 10, 15 control. This is new in the box, so it the bearings could also use some breaking in. It's probably another factor. Okay, that's 5, that's 0.25, 6, 0.3, 7, 0.34, 8, 0.38, 9.43, 10.47, almost seems like this goes faster on the 10 than the ones downstairs do. Maybe this is just faster overall because it is a beefier motor. 11, 12, 13, 14. Now I'm going to set this to 14 because the capacitors in the decade box are on a tad on the high side. And let's go downstairs and compare it to the one that's hooked up down there and see if the speed is about the same. I think, no, I didn't turn it on. I had the SMC on and I turned it off. I had all these fans on high earlier because I was painting and there was some water in here and there were all kinds of reasons to have fans on, but I turned this one off. Letting it get up to speed and then turn it to 2. You want a sneak preview of what's coming tomorrow? Okay, so that's medium high on that. Let's compare that to upstairs. Trying not to look at all the fans in between so I can maybe negligibly faster. Not quite as big of a difference as I thought. So they're probably very similar in performance. I feel like I'm getting a lot more air movement from this one, but it's also much closer to me. Also, I never actually tested the values in that control. For all I know, what's supposed to be 15 is drifted down to 13. So that's 15.59. .71. Just finished off my water there. Water's important. Now is a good time to jump to high and see what it actually draws on high. Okay, we got a ways to go. One, 22, 23, 24, 25.77. 30.81. 35.84. 40.86, and high 0.95. I definitely think this goes a little faster than the 1 amp pointed motor versions. I don't recall if it's faster than the 0.9 amp pointed motor versions. Those are faster than the 1 amp. I guess no. I guess they're about the same. Fairly strong breeze directly underneath it, which is impressive from a curved blade fan. You don't always get that. The reason you get it with the older gold lines is because the blades droop down more. They have a pattern that's a little bit less outward than the newer ones. It's Let's go out here to my yeah, that's gold line right there. I can't say if it's any different than like any of the others, but it's gold line. It's no less than the current ones. It's no less than the 0.9 amp ones. I don't remember how much the 1 amp ones are out here. It's no less than any of the other ones. It's not more either. I guess it's right about the same. You know, there's a negligible difference between all of them, but it's right about the same. It's not, yeah, it's not considerably more than any of the other gold line variations. It's not considerably less. It's in the same ballpark. Definitely on, if there is a range, it's on the more impressive end of the ballpark. So I wonder why they changed from the fatter, beefier motor to this, which does look a little slimmer, but it's also 1 amp. And then eventually there's another one in between that I don't have one out, but then to this, which is a lot less than 1 amp, but, you know, I mean, they ended up with a much more efficient design, because the current ones draw, you know, almost half. But it's really hard to argue with this. Man, that thing's insane. If it wasn't new in box, I'd hang it up. I'd take the SMC downstairs and hang this in its place. The reason I don't want to do it is because then it would get all messed up. If I can find another one of this variation, the variation that I like with both the circle and the exposed screws, then it's going to go downstairs for a season in place of the SMC. I suppose I could put the silver line down there for a season, but I really don't want to. It doesn't do anything for me the way gold lines do. Trying to think of what else does something for me that I could hang down there. Nothing that I'm looking around and seeing. Fairly good spin down for it being a new in the box fan. It has been sitting for, let's see, 78, 88, 98, 2008. That's 30 years. Plus, I'll just say almost 40 years. Math is hard. Okay, solid stateness. Okay, we're at 0.23. I swear I hear it buzzing. It's hard to differentiate between it and the light. No, that's definitely buzzy. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but eighth of a turn, 0.45. Well, that's very buzzy. Maybe that's why they changed motor styles. Eighth of a turn, 0.64. Eighth of a turn, 0.8. Well, I am sad about buzzing, but I'm otherwise pleased. It's unlikely for me to use fans of solid state anyways. I'm trying to think of it. Let's see. The veranda in my second bedroom / office has the internal solid state control, and that's what I'm using on that, but that is very rarely used. The verandas in 12 wings are using a solid state control, but that was out of necessity. I tried every other control option first. The parlor fan at 12 wings uses the internal variable speed. What else? That might be all. One thing I'm going to try to remember to do at the end of my videos, especially with industrials, is to fire them up from off at the end. So when I go up gradually, you don't get to see that. So here is going straight to high from off. It's 0.95 on high. I don't remember if I said that or not. Okay. Thanks for watching.